Welcome back live from Hong Kong and London. You're watching World Business Today. Well, some analysts say emerging markets will be the first to recover from the global economic crisis. So where does Russia, one of the world's biggest emerging economies, stand? The past few months have been challenging for the Russian economy, to say the least. It shrank by 9.5% in the first 3 months of this year compared to the same period a year earlier, and that was its worst drop in 15 years. Industrial output has also been in steady decline. In April, it fell 16.9% compared to the previous year. And unemployment is also rising. It's currently at around 10%. More than 7 million people are out of work in Russia.
Well, it's not all doom and gloom. Some analysts do believe that the worst may be over for Russia. The country's economy has been strengthening thanks to slightly higher oil prices. In the past 3 months, Brent crude has climbed from $41.50 a barrel to, in round numbers, around $60 a barrel right now. And those higher oil prices are encouraging Russian investors to shrug off gloomy domestic data. The ruble has enjoyed a 3-month rally, hitting a 4-month high on Tuesday. Not too long ago, Russia's Prime Minister Vladimir Putin had this to say about the economy.
Russia will overcome the crisis. The country will surely retain the position as one of the world's strongest economies. To achieve this, we need to work in a coordinated way as a united team. The entire world, they envy us. I'm telling you this. I know what I'm talking about.
Well, I wonder if he does. For more on whether the Prime Minister is in fact right and whether we can expect a quick turnaround of the Russian economy, Boris Jordan joins us now from our Moscow bureau. He is the president and CEO of the Sputnik Group, a private equity group which managed the turnaround of Russia's largest media group, Gazprom Media. What do you think are the prospects right now for the Russian economy? Clearly it is in bad shape, but are the green shoots of spring going to be seen very soon or not?
Well, everyone seems to be talking about green shoots. Russia's main problem is the lack of diversification of its economy. Russia's economy is highly dependent on natural resources, oil and gas, and it hasn't had the time in its brief history of 17 to 18 years to actually diversify the economy further. So we are dependent on the natural oil and gas and natural resource sector, and we need to diversify the economy. So we do see greener shoots and higher oil prices and international demand as the world economy recovers, but we still have a lot of work to do to diversify the economy, to take our dependence away from oil and gas.
Boris, it's Andrew Stevens here in Hong Kong. Just want to pick up on that point about diversification. We've seen this massive retraction in the economy, a commodities-based economy, but will Russian firms like what happened in Asia during the financial crisis use this period of downturn to restructure themselves, basically make themselves more efficient, do you think?
Yeah, we've seen that both in the crisis of 1998 and we're seeing this in the crisis of 2008, 2009. Russian firms are restructuring. Russian firms are becoming more efficient, but that doesn't take away from the fact that we really need to diversify the economy well beyond the natural resource sector. We are so highly dependent on it. Most of the investment, foreign direct investment coming into Russia still is targeted at the natural resource sector, and we need to diversify it out into consumer goods, into other manufacturing technology areas, which Russia is starting to do. There are major efforts both by the government and by private industry to start diversifying the economy. But as I said, unlike our counterparts in India, Brazil, and China in the emerging world, we've only been at this for about 15 to 18 years, and it's going to take some time for Russia to diversify further. But strong moves are being made in that direction, as well as current restructuring significant restructuring of existing industry.
Well, if I can come back, it's Charles Hodson again. Clearly, diversification means investment, investment means finance, and finance means banks. How well placed are the Russian banks to play that role? Because according to all the reports that I'm reading, they are in trouble and they could run into some domestically grown problems of their own with non-performing loans and so on.
Russia's banking sector has been hit particularly hard, mainly due to a lack of significant capitalization, but also of the fact that the international refinancing markets have been shut down for the better part of 2 years for Russian businesses. And so therefore, the banks are unable to raise capital internationally in order to be able to continue to finance Russian growth. So they have been hit very hard. The Russian government, however, has done a significant amount of work on stabilizing the banking sector. We've had no significant bankruptcies that haven't been dealt with very, very quickly, where the central bank has stepped in and had a larger bank acquire that bank. We've had no long lines that we had in 1998 and 1992, where a depositor lost significant amount of money. We've had no major collapses. So the banking sector, however, is fragile. It does need significant recapitalization, but we hope that as the economy stabilizes, that those banks will be able to go back to the market that have survived and be able to recapitalize, raise sufficient capital in order to continue to fund the economy. But one thing we have noticed, unlike China and some of the other emerging economies, that the banking sector has not started to lend to the economy yet, and therefore it continues to force major contraction in the industrial as well as the services sector.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Neat. Boris Jordan joining us there live from Moscow. He's from the Sputnik Group. Now, Russia may be battling a downturn, but some cities see a bright future for themselves.